Tell me how you got into film locations.
So I did it through my father.
Yeah.
True nepotism baby.
Yes.
I was always brought up around it from a kid being on a film set, which was super cool.
Yeah.
And then my father sort of said, you could potentially make a career out of this. So I thought, why not?
Yeah,
Give it a go. I went to university to actually study real estate management, which is completely different. But when I was there, I found that it wasn't really the course for me and not what I actually wanted to do in life.
Did you finish that course?
I did, but I sort of was more eager to pursue my father's footsteps of getting into the film world and seeing what could be done there. And 16 years later, I'm still here, enjoying it and loving life. And
so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
What big differences have you seen from your father's day to now when it comes to location management?
Well, the biggest change I think has been the amount of productions that come over to the UK. The UK has sort of become the biggest hub for TV and film production in the world these days.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's shown by the amount of studios that are coming and being built everywhere around England, which is great for us. America is still producing a lot of feature films and TV shows, but because we're so close to Europe, productions can come and base themselves in our fantastic facilities here and then branch out to Europe and then come back to the UK to do more of the studio work and the production office work. And if they need to at the end, they can go back to America and do post-production.
Have you worked in the States or have you worked in other countries?
I've worked in other countries, yes. Never in the States. Again, mostly down to the unions. I need visas and green cards and things like that to work over there. But I've worked in about 16 or 17 countries around the world. Other than the States, and it's been amazing. It's been a great experience. Most of the reason that filming is done in the UK as opposed to the US is the costs in America are so high, not just with the unions and the crew, but also with the locations and the cities that you're filming in. So that's why a lot of the productions come here, because it's cheaper essentially.
I mean, I also noticed, like, as a location agent, that when we get, because we have some locations in the States, and when we get inquiries and stuff for them, the rates are like phenomenal, like astronomical. And then I think for the exact same thing that you would get here, it's way more affordable.
You only have to look at huge feature films, for example, a James Bond film.
Yeah.
They will build a huge street set on the backlot of Pinewood because mostly it's cheaper than going to the US or wherever they are going to be, elsewhere in the world.
What do you think makes a good location manager?
Oh, good question. I think just first and foremost, you need to have a creative head. At the start of any production, whether it's TV or film, you're reading through the script, you're working with the designer and the director to get the vision out of their minds and into reality. So you need to fully understand sort of what they're trying to achieve. And put that into a real location. So being able to think outside the box creatively, come up with, whether it's a landscape shot or in a city shot, what buildings are going to match for, the period of the production. Surrounding yourself with a good team is really important for that. Being able to lean on your peers, and work well, all of you together is what makes you get through it, essentially. Favourite job? I think the one that stands out for me is at the start when we were doing Mission Impossible 7. Tom Cruise does all his own stunts, as most people know, and he trains very long to make sure he's perfect at what he's trying to achieve. And they're crazy stunts. They're the sort of stunts that Red Bull people do, not your average sort of day-to-day person.
I love that he does that.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
It's such a flex.
And also at his age,
How old is he?
I think he's about 62, 63. And at the time was probably 60-ish. But I mean, that's, amazing. He trains so hard each day for it. But we went to New Zealand for about 6 weeks to do training for him to learn how to do some speed flying, which is like a sport where you basically jump off a mountain with a parachute that is slightly too small to hold your body weight, so you're sort of doing a controlled free fall at speed.
I'm just like, could I imagine my dad being like, hey, this is what I'm going to start doing with my life?
At 60. And we were there doing that for 6 weeks of a small crew, about 25 people. When we weren't doing any filming, and we were there solely we were actually with some Red Bull extreme sports coaches, Tom and his team, and then a few people from the production team and the locations team.
So what advice do you think you could give to people who want to get into film locations?
I think for people that are not in the industry already, you know, you can go to university or college and study a film-related course, which is useful. Definitely gives you the basic skills of sort of what our industry does and a wide variety of sort of information from different departments, not just location-based. But you can also go and do sort of screen skills courses and learn firsthand about, you know, equipment and how films are made or TV shows are made, and you know, from the start to the finish, from the prep to the shoot to the post-production, which is really good. And then, you know, obviously you can from that learn and meet industry, you know, creatives and representatives already, and from that go on to networking and get experience with them on shows and see, you know, firsthand and build up from there.
Is it hard to gain access to that industry if you don't go to school?
Yes, it can be. Yes, absolutely. It's one of those industries where even if you have studied a course, unfortunately doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a job straight away. And I think that is something that Film London and other representatives such as Screen Skills are trying to change, so that it is more accessible for people. The best thing to do is just take your time. You know, don't try and step up too fast. I see it time and time again where everyone wants to climb the ladder as quick as they can, and while I respect that, and it's good to be hungry and want to do well, if you're expecting to do a long career, why rush it? You know,
You've
why?
got your whole life ahead of you,
Totally. Why would you rush trying to be something, you know, average at something when you could be really, really good at it and spend that little bit longer learning all the skills, going through all the different roles within the department to become, you know, the best location manager around.